Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I decided to go ahead and do a second current event. This one isn't going to be as funny. I'm going to be serious here, and this is one of those where I think we do need to be serious. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Most of you guys, well, not most of you, some of you have already seen some of the stuff that's come out in the last day or two with people kind of going after AlphaDestiny, Alex, aka Strap-On Destiny, going after his sister. And I have some thoughts on that. And, alright guys, I am pretty much a survivor of an enormous wide-scale hate campaign online. In fact, I'm not going to get into who, law enforcement and other people have even said this is one of the biggest, most widespread hate campaigns they have ever seen against someone who's not legitimately extremely famous. Like, I'm talking Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton level famous, right? This is like they're surprised that they saw something for someone with my outreach. You know, I'm sitting here, guys, I have 61 million views on YouTube over the course of 6 years. I mean, that's somewhat out there, but it's not way out there. And I've taken some lessons from this. I have learned a lot about the world, and I've had to rethink a lot of things about morality and the internet based upon my life experiences and the things that I've seen affect other people around me. And, all right, how do I say this nicely? We know from watching the meme wars online for the last year or two that weaponized autism is an extremely powerful thing, right? It's an extremely powerful thing. And it can be used for good and it can be used for bad. And what I would always say, and that might sound funny to people who don't really understand what I'm talking about, well, do a little bit of digging on the term weaponized autism. And what I would say is that people need to remember, with great power, it doesn't matter in what area in life, comes great responsibility. And it's very, very easy to get caught up in online campaigns and hate campaigns or something that you feel is righteous and to lose track of basic right and wrong, especially with the anonymity of the internet. It's very, very easy to lose track of right and wrong. And the only person there right now, because again, people like the feds are overloaded with this. They're trying to get laws and things changed on the way they can enforce things over cybercrime. But as of right now, they don't have the manpower and all the laws in place to even really enforce this stuff the way that even they would like to completely. They can do some things, but they're limited. Their hands are tied. So it's kind of up to all of us to police our own morality. And the thing that I would ask you, and what I would tell people is, before you go get involved in something like this, step back and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right? And I'm saying that, guys, I'm an internet troll. I troll on here. I have a history of trolling. And I respect the memes. I respect meme magic because I've seen what it can do. You know, it can be a tool for good and it can be a tool for evil. It can be a tool for right and wrong. And what I would say to people, be very, very careful when you jump into something that you see as some righteous cause or some person you need to take down, that you don't allow yourself to become just as bad, if not worse of a person than they are with your actions and what you do. And this is kind of what I'm going to say based on my experiences. I think going after people's loved ones, even someone who you hate, because guys, I'm going to take the stance, and you guys know I legitimately cannot stand Alex. And let me be frank. I'm going to get it off my chest. I cannot stand him. I absolutely loathe him. I loathe the sort of training advice he gives. I think he's a con man. But all of that aside, I don't think his loved ones and family members should be contacted or harassed. I can't support that. I can't get behind that. And here's the other thing that people need to remember. You are not going to take down a YouTuber, no matter how much effort you throw into it. I mean, use me as an example. Yeah, everyone saw Vince Garza run from the internet, but he wasn't the main figure there. He wasn't someone who was really bold enough to really put himself out there online. He was kind of a sidekick. Yeah, people got rid of him, but look at the hate campaign that was spread against me and the harassment. Now, even to this day, guys, there's going to be people who come in the comments and say you brought it on yourself, or there's no proof. You haven't provided proof that people you love have been swatted. Exactly. That's how crazy these people are, that they're actually going to believe that I am such an evil person that I deserved for all those things to happen. You know, so let that sink in, the level of crazy, because no sane person thinks that way. Because if they did, they would all look at someone like Callie Muscle, who is a legitimately self-admitted evil person, unrepentant for being a wide-scale drug distributor, robbing people, brags about it all, brags about his prison time. He's unrepenting. He is legitimately evil, and nobody's been able to take him down. You take someone like me, look at the hate campaign. There was money thrown into that campaign. Lane Norton admitted to throwing money into that campaign. Wide scale. Wide scale, even got into news publications. I'm still here. I'm making more money than ever doing this. It didn't take me down. So let that sink in, guys. You're not going to take down a YouTuber with your hate campaign. So you need to understand at a certain point, you can put out information about them, but don't get obsessed. Because look how obsessed the people are who harass me. Look at their people who still to this day have literally, the same people have made hundreds and hundreds of videos who would talk about me for 20, 30 hours a month, who now have something like 500 hours of video topics and stuff talking about me. Do you know how insane that is? Let that sink in. This is the sort of people who get involved in these sort of things, and it's easy for people to get caught up. It's easy for people to get caught up. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you start messing with people's loved ones in any way, guys, that's crossing the line. It's fine. Get you some mints. Get you some humor. Have some fun with it. You know, it's fun to poke fun at other people online, especially ones who we feel need it. Maybe they deserve it. Hell, there's times when I deserve having some fun poked at me. I don't deny that. See, that's the difference, guys. I admit that. I dish it out. I should be able to take it. But there are lines you don't cross, guys, and I've had those lines crossed with me, and my concern there, I don't want to see that happen over to Alex's family. It's nothing to do with him. I don't think he's a good person. But his loved ones don't deserve to be contacted and harassed and doxxed and stuff like that. And the thing is, yeah, you guys got some interesting information. Oh, no, you all know he lives with his sister. Well, you know, it's just not hard to figure out that he doesn't really live alone. Oh, he's 5'3", 5'4". Well, you knew that from seeing him next to Omar Issoff. We don't need to explore his shoes in detail and compare him to his sister's admitted height and asking her how tall she is, trying to flirt with her or whatever. You don't need to know that to know the guy's 5'3" or 5'4". Omar Issoff is 5'9". He's at least 5 inches shorter than Omar. We saw him standing side by side, right? There's your evidence. You don't need anything more. You're done. Does anyone really need to become creepy, stocky to go there? And I can appreciate the channels that kind of mock him and make fun of him, like the Coat Destiny and others. I can appreciate that, all right, because he does deserve a little bit of poking. He really does, because he's kind of conned people out of money. It's my opinion. I think Naturally Enhanced is a con. But, you know, we could also say that a fool and his money shall soon part. I mean, anyone who really listens to what Alex is saying and they buy it full steam, you know they're new to the iron game. They're going to get hustled a few times. They're going to learn some lessons, and maybe they'll be wiser for it. You know, you can make that counter argument. But the thing is, guys, leave people's loved ones alone. And that was the thing that bothered me, is that someone told me about it already, because several people have, and someone told me, well, hey, don't you think that's karma? Because look, he jumped in and threw in a little bit with some of the people who harass your loved ones. Don't you think that that's fair? And when I heard that, I was like, no, that's not cool, bro. Because that was the same logic that people used against me, right? That same logic is that, first of all, people believed that I legitimately threatened Lane Norton's family. I don't want to get into all that. I didn't. They're still alive and safe. I'm in America with stockpiles of guns. I have the ability to travel. They've not been harmed. If Lane actually really believed, if he truly believed that I threatened his family, he wouldn't have kept poking the bear. Knowing that I was stateside again with guns and everything, he wouldn't have done that. Lane doesn't believe it. All right, period. Lane does not believe it. The feds do not believe it. We've spoken about this. So, that's that. But the point is, there were people who later said, use that as justification. Well, you brought this on yourself. You threatened his family, so it's only fair that your family be harassed. The people you love and care about catch some flack. You guys understand how psychopathic that is? Think about that. Now, if you just step back, if those of you who at first that sounds reasonable, that's karma. No, guys, that is people deciding that they are karma and that they think that innocent people being harmed or harassed because they're close to someone they despise is karma and justice. All right, that's not right. That isn't right. It's not right. So that was the same sort of mindset that was used against me, and then the same thing gets applied to some. No, it's not cool, guys. That's not cool. That's not justice. That's evil. That's evil. All right? Let that sink in here, guys. Leave people's families alone. You know, because that's what happens. People get caught up in these campaigns and they create their version of the person they hate online. In their mind, they decide who they are. And you see people, they start going in this circular logic. They get into groups to bad talk the person that they hate online. And they all feed upon each other. And before long, they create a straw man of that person based upon their perceptions and each other feeding into it. And before long, the person that you imagine that they are ends up being oftentimes a hell of a lot worse than they really are, because you're now creating this projection of them. And then people start saying things, because this is what has happened, and people do say this online who do this stuff, that Jason is so evil. He is such a terrible and horrible person that anyone who associates with him has to be punished by default, because the evil will basically rub off on them. Or if they would associate with him at all, or if they love him or care about him, they must be a bad person. That's where this stuff starts going, and it gets out of control really, really fast. And a lot of innocent people end up being harassed. They end up being hurt, sometimes for things that just start as just some mincing fun. All right, guys. Remember that, guys. Weaponized autism is powerful, and if used incorrectly, it can hurt innocent people, guys. It can hurt innocent people, and that's my concern when I see this happening and people are already trying to mess with his family. Guys, you can I dislike him personally. But you know what? Just because someone is related to him or cares about him or loves him or he cares about them doesn't make them guilty of the things he's guilty of. Right? That's not cool. That's not cool, and that's not right. It's not right. And at a certain point, I would say just because we dislike something someone does online doesn't mean that it's okay to create an enormous hate campaign. It's fine to criticize people. It's fine to call people out. All of us, including me, it's fine to call me out. You know, in your own videos, if you want to do it, that's fine. But you need to keep in mind that's your perception of the situation. It may not even be reality. And you're entitled to your version of reality and your opinion. But at a certain point, people got to step back and go, it's one thing to say, okay, I have this perception and I'm going to be critical and voice my opinion. It's another thing to take it to the level of a hate campaign against that person. And then it's a whole nother thing to start harming innocent people or spamming people who've associated with them in some way with tons of negative reviews and attack their business and harass them, dox their family members, send stuff to their homes, call them, contact them. Guys, that's out of control, all right? I want people to understand the moment you start doing stuff like that, you're in danger of becoming just as bad as the person that you're visualizing online as your target. You're potentially becoming as bad of a person as you see them, and you're in danger of becoming an even worse person than they are. We've got to think these things through. You've got to have a little bit of personal accountability, and there's got to be some basic right and wrong here. You know, we can have memes, we can have mints, we can have fun, but there's just lines you don't cross. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.